My name's Garret, and I'm an addict. My home group is Sunday Action in the Hill District, 9 a.m. tomorrow. And that gentleman sitting back there, Nick, he'll be speaking tomorrow if you're looking for something to do Sunday morning. I told him I was going to let everybody know just in case. It's an honor to be here, honor to get asked. I called Nick and asked him to speak at my home group, and he said, hey, while I have you on the phone, would you speak at this men's conference? And I was like, hi. And he calls me back and says, hey, do you mind being the Banquet speaker? I'm like, God dang, dude. I just wanted you to speak in my home group. I didn't know it was going to lead to all this, but I was thinking about what it's an honor to have a home group where we alternate every other week. It's a speaker and a discussion, speaker discussion. It's an honor to get to pick someone to speak in an NA meeting for you. So I get to pick someone and seek someone out that I think is carrying a good NA message. I was thinking about the word authenticity when it comes to that. That's how I get to connect to people, man. When I feel like someone, I've been fooled before, don't get me wrong, man. There's some people that are really good at like putting this front out, then you start to get to know them a little bit, you're like, yeah, never mind. We're good, man. But you get to meet some people in this program, man, in this life that are really living this thing. And they really have gotten themselves out of the way, and they're really being of service, and they're really living the NA program. And so it's an honor. I have no idea why you guys asked me to do this, man. It is what it is. I appreciate it. I've been in my head for the last couple of weeks. I've probably asked about 10 of my predecessors, you got any nuggets on authenticity? I can throw some real good shit, and not one of them had anything for me. Not a one, man. Everyone was like, you're pretty good speaker, dude. Go ahead and you'll be all right. I'm like, what the fuck? You gotta have something for me, anything. But I was out with a sponsee of mine. We were out doing something, and we started talking about it. And he doesn't even know I'm going to share this, but he probably gave me the best. It's Eric Bates. Probably gave me the best advice I had. He's like, you always told me, man, if we don't have someone in Narcotics Anonymous that we hear when they talk to us, we're kind of fucked, right? And he's like, thank God that person is you. And like, it's an honor to hear that from somebody, right? Like, if you know like what I feel inside sometimes or where I come from. But his whole point to that was, listen, what I think I'm telling you is truly authentic. What I think I'm telling you is my truth. What I think that my perception, like Lance kind of hit on it, my perception is, this is right. This is correct thing to do, right? And then I'm able to be like, no, dude, you need to take a look at this. There's a pattern in your 4-step here, all these things. And he's like, oh shit. So I say that to say, like, I need you guys more than you have ever known. I need you guys to hold up the mirror to me and be like, you're full of shit on that, dude. Hey man, you're going down this route over here that's probably not the best idea. How about you go this way a little bit? And I got some guys in my life that I know for a fact will do that for me. They're without a doubt. I can call anytime. I saw one of those, like, I don't know, YouTube things just came up. It was a guy talking about, if we get 3 kinds of friends in this life, we're doing all right. It's like, one was like, if you have a true confidant, someone you could tell anything to, that's a pretty good friend. If you have a truth teller, someone will tell you about yourself at any given time, that's a pretty good friend. And if you have like another one's like a ride or die, you can call it like 3 in the morning and say, hey man, I need you now. And I was sitting there, it's one of those things that just came up on as I was scrolling, eating my burrito or whatever. I'm like, what? I was watching it. I was like, man, we get that in NA. I got all that in many different people. Like, not like this guy's that guy. I got people that I know for a fact I could call at any time of my life. And no matter what it is going on, I'd be like, hey man, I'm fucked up over this. And I'd be like, all right, man, you want to meet? You want to talk? You want to make you laugh? I just had that happen. We got a mutual friend who was supposed to be here. He called me Thursday. I was at Sam's Club with my kid walking around, and he called me, and he's like, hey. I was like, what's up? He doesn't really call a lot. We're more texting friends, and he was like, I need 5 minutes of your time, but I don't need you to talk. I was like, all right. He's like, at the end, I just need you to either make me laugh or just hang up. I was like, what the fuck's going on, dude? And he proceeds to just dump all this stuff that's going on in his life, right? This, and all this stuff, financial stuff that we get to talk about, women's stuff with his kids, stuff with his mom. And at the end of it, man, I made a very offhanded joke, made the dude laugh, and we hung up. And that's like, to me, that's just like real friendship, right? You don't get that we don't get that out in the real world, so to speak, man. We get that to have that here. And my man Kurgeland left. Kurgeland's part of my home group, but he was standing up here speaking. I went up to him after, I was like, dude, you stole all my thunder. Because in the fact that I'm an only child, and when you grow up as an only child, man, you feel like just an alien. But you learn real quick as an only child how to navigate different situations, right? Like my parents were divorced. I'm almost 50, so my parents were divorced. It wasn't like the norm back then, right? And I would go to my dad's house on the weekend, and my dad is one of us. My dad died of this disease. My dad was a stone-cold alcoholic, and I'm a certain way with I'm a mama's boy. I was raised by all women. I'm here to tell you, like, I got no positive male influence in my life until I got here, like none, absolutely none. And that's just facts. There's like not one dude was ever like, hey man, don't treat women this way. Don't do that. Nothing. So all I learned from that was like how to really manipulate women. But if I'm being honest, man, I would go to my father's house, or he lived with his parents. So I'd go to my grandparents' house, and they were all alcoholics. And I always tell this story. They had like 2 lazy boy chairs in the living room with like a beer tap out the middle, just drinking. My grandpa cut both his tops of his feet off from a lawnmower, drunk. It's just like, it was like, you'd go there, you'd quickly have to learn how to navigate in that situation, right? Like as a young kid, like no one to, and then I'd go back home, and my mom worked, and I would live with my grandma and my mom, and it was just, you just learn how to like I could put on whatever face you needed me to be, right? If I'm going to the football game, I'll be the football dude. I'm hanging out with the dudes that are like, want to be the tough guys, I'll try to be that dude. I'm not tough, but I'll figure it out, man. Like I went through all these phases. My mom gave me I think we're all old enough here to remember like actual pictures, right? So when I moved out, my mom gave me a box of like pictures like I had kept over the years. And it was like every phase of my life. I was like a skater kid at one point, can't ride a skateboard to save my life. I was a basketball, wanted to be a dude. I was like, I want to be a rapper there for a little while. I was like the preppy kid. And then I was like the hippie dude. The hippie's phase when it got real bad for me. There's a lot of drugs involved with that. But I just had all these different phases, man. Like I never knew who I was. And I think part of that's being young too. We all go through that shit. But so I get to Narcotics Anonymous, and I'm still that person. I just put the drugs down. I'm still that guy that's like, oh, you guys want to go do this? I don't know how to shoot pool, but 3 of my sponsee brothers are shooting pool. I go pretend like I know how to shoot pool. Don't want to really do that. But I'm doing anything to fit in, man, anything to fit in. And I got a sponsor, man, that he gave me a CD with a bunch of leads on it. And one was Dot Tally. And she talked about this, letting go of the representatives. And it stuck with me. And it was a real shitty recording. I could barely hear it. I used to have it up to like level 50 in my car trying to hear what she was saying. And it was just like letting go of the representatives. The longer you get to stay in Narcotics Anonymous, you get to shed some of these representatives you come along. Like I get to say no to things, man. I get to be who I want to be. I get to be all this stuff. And I didn't sign up for that, man. I got clean. I just wanted to stop shooting dope. That was like, that was the end of my story. If I could just stop shooting dope, stop stealing from my kids and my family, stop making my mom change the locks on her house and putting security cameras up at her own home because her only child couldn't stop stealing from her. If I could stop all that, I would be fine, right? And then NA kicks in. It's like quitting drugs was the easy part, man, right? It was like once I was alone with myself, it's like, what do I do? And the only way I've gotten to this point where I'm standing up here with any type of confidence, I'm shitting my pants up here right now, to be honest with you. If I'm being authentic, if I'm being real, I don't really want to be doing this. I'd much rather sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with somebody I don't know, just off in the cut, talking about whatever. But to stand up here and tell you guys, I'm nervous, man. I've been in my head about this for weeks. Thank you, I appreciate that. But I get to like slowly but surely figure out who I am, man. And so next week it'll be 16 years we'll celebrate, God, right. And I was thinking about this. If you would have told me at 1 year clean, 3 years clean, 5 years clean, the person I would become all these state phases, I never would have believed you, right? So I'm here to tell you, I believe I might be something different next year. I might be something different in 5 years. I probably will be. I hope I am. I hope I continue to grow and develop and become the person I am. But the thing I like about this program more than anything is very simple. You guys didn't tell me I had to do anything other than don't take anything. In Narcotics Anonymous, staying clean must come first. My sponsor would tell me that, and I could wrap my pea brain around that, right? I don't take anything, just go to a meeting, sit down and listen, and then my sponsor would also be like, all right, man, what reading are you going to listen to tonight? Like, why are we here? Be like, all right, why are we here? After the meeting, let's talk about why are we here. So I would able to because my brain is just like all these people. I just sit in the corner. I didn't want you guys to hug me. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. I just wanted to just soak up the recovery without having to participate in it. And so that would be his way of engaging me. I'd sit there, I'd listen for why are we here. I'd listen to the words and we'd talk about it. And he'd be like, all right, man, what meeting are you going to tomorrow? We'd come up with a simple plan of staying clean for a day. And then that's when the service part of my recovery kicked in. Is like I had 6 months clean. I got clean in the South Hills. And my clean date's 10/18/09, and that was not my first clean date. You know, I got a few of those things. This was the one I'm hanging on to. In the South Hills at the time, it was 6 months. I don't know, it might still be. You could speak at an H&I. And I had 6 months clean, man. And some guy I never met before came up to me. He's like, hey, congratulations, you're going to speak tomorrow for me at this H&I of mine. I'm like, what? All right. And I was told this story, man. It was at a methadone clinic in Bridgeville, and it was a shit show, man. Like, it was on a Friday night, and it was like all these guys are waiting for their take-home methadone. But they had to sit there and listen to me speak first. So they're all just like facing the window, and I'm up here like talking like this, but they're like literally all just looking at the clock and looking at me like, come on, dude. I don't really need to hear this shit right now, man. I'm trying to get my shit and get out of here. But I'm up there just talking about NA and like, you know, I'm on this path to finding God. And people are like, dude, shut up. People literally like staring darts at me like, dude, please stop. But man, I left that shit feeling like $1 million. Like I felt like I was the man. I was telling everybody, dude, I spoke at the Bridgeville Methadone Clinic. People are like, all right, dude, cool. Relax. Relax. That shit's, I think that place got raided by the feds, actually. So I don't even think it was I don't know how we had a commitment there, but it's like, I don't know, dude. It's like, I just couldn't wait to get a year clean so I could have my own H&I commitment. That was like the biggest deal to me. Because then I was like, I've had them all over. I had them at the Renewal Center. And I've been to, that was just a nightmare there. We'd go in there and be like, just a nightmare down there. Be like, you here to fix the air conditioning? Be like, no. They want fuck you then. And be like, just chaos erupted. I'm like, all right, dude. I'm not even sure why we're having an NA meeting here. But it, like, I have it at a state correctional institution now with a couple of guys that are in here right now, and it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to my recovery. It's just, I mean, you get to go in there and you want to talk about some real raw. This kind of reminds me of it in the fact there's no women here. So you get to go into the prison, there's no cell phones and there's no women. So some of these meetings are the most raw, in-your-face thing you're ever going to, people, and all these guys have no idea what an NA meeting is, but they just show up because they don't want to keep using. And we get to like, just carry the message. I'm not there to dazzle anybody, talk shit, like I'm just here to like, here's what happened, man. I couldn't stop using. It was the end of my road. I had nowhere else to go. I was strung out. I weighed about 160 pounds. I had scabs all over me. I was fucking beat, man. I was beat. And I went away somewhere, and then I came to NA, and you guys saved me. You guys loved me back to life. You loved me when I didn't even believe in myself. You guys told me it was going to be okay. Don't take the first one. Go to a meeting. And we get to go into that prison and just carry a simple message. And we've been able to bear witness to a couple guys that come out of that prison and just grab NA by the balls, man, and just go for it. They don't look back. They go to meetings. They ask for help. They get sponsors. They start to sponsor guys. They have H&I commitments themselves. It's like, this thing is amazing. So I'm saying all this to say, like, I don't know what a year clean, 6 months clean when I did that first H&I that I would be to this position now where someone thinks enough of me to ask me to speak on authenticity. It's crazy to me, man. Like, because if you knew what was going on inside my brain right now, it is not, I'm just being authentic. I look around the room, there's a shit ton of clean time here. Like, I'm just like, I don't know why you guys want to hear what I have to say about anything, right? That's just what my brain tells you, man. I don't know. And like I said, I called a bunch of my predecessors, and they all just gave me the same thing, like, hey, man, just don't lie. Be yourself. It's like, that's it. Nothing else. Like, nah, man, you're living this program. Just don't lie. Just be yourself. Have some fun with it. And I was like, fuck. I'm waiting for this real sweet line to, like, say, like, because then you start looking at our literature. It's not in our literature a whole lot, the word authentic. I'm like, I got nothing, man. I'm going to bomb up there. But then I started thinking about what it's allowed me to be, because there's a line on your little flyer you have about, I'm going to misquote it, that made like the last line, being authentic doesn't just benefit me, it benefits the people around me. And I start to think about my kids. I start to think about the relationship with my wife. I start to think about my dad who died from this disease, how I was able to be there for him at the end. I hated my dad my whole entire life. My whole adult life, could not stand that man. I carried that around on my shoulder like a bag of just hot shit. Man, I couldn't stand him, he was the worst. You name it. Through this program, man, I was able to like work some steps enough to like help that man through like his dying days. Right? I was there when he took his last breath. My dad was a burnout Vietnam vet hippie, and I remember all he wanted to do was die at home listening to the Allman Brothers. And that's what we made happen. Right? And I always tell this story, man, here's the real truth about that. I mean, my dad lived in a shithole of a trailer out in the I grew up not maybe 20 minutes from here. out in Mount Pleasant. My dad lived in a shithole trailer at the end of his days. He had burned every bridge in his life. No one wanted to be around him except for me. And we were there, and you guys would always tell me, at some point, man, you're gonna have to work these first 3 steps in your life. And there's nobody else around but you and God. I'm like, none of that ever really made sense to me. But I was at my dad's place, and he had taken a turn for the worse, and he was like incoherent, laying in his bed. And I heard the nurse say, he had a visiting nurse from the VA say, we're gonna go ahead and prescribe liquid morphine and some liquid Valium for him. So of course my addict ears are like, hey, what's up? And I had 7 years clean at that time. And so I'm sitting there, and they're like, you're gonna be here, they're gonna deliver this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm thinking, I'm good with this, man. It's a little vial or whatever. They come with like 2-gallon jugs of each. Right, a gallon jug of morphine and a gallon jug of, I'm like, holy shit, dude. My mouth is just sat. I'm like, that's like a dream right there. Where was this at? Where was this at? I mean, but this is where the NA part kicks in, man. And this is where like me getting rid of some of that shit of my own, of like my own thinking I could figure this out on my own, knowing that I needed to tell someone immediately. It's like the first step kicked out. I'm a powerless over this right here, man. If I take that shit, if I even look at it much longer, I'm probably gonna fuck with it. There's nobody else around me, my dad, who can't say shit out in the middle of nowhere. When I started thinking about the second step, like a power greater than ourselves could restore me to sanity, I started reaching out in my phone. I started calling people I don't even particularly like in NA. And if you go through your phone right now, I guarantee there's about 20 people, and you're like, he's not first on my call list, man. But like, I put NA at the end of their name, like, I'm calling. And no one's answering, dude. It's in the middle of the day, everyone's at work, nobody's answering. Not a single soul's answering me, even my boys, like no one's answering me at the time. I left, I went out behind my dad's trailer and I prayed. I prayed about it. I said, God, you gotta help me get through this, man. Because I know he needs this medication, right? The nurse isn't coming back for a couple hours. I don't know what to do. I sat there and I listened, and guess what? My phone started to ring. NA people calling me back. The next guy called me, he said, hey man, you want me to come sit with you? Hey man, you want me to come take you to a meeting? Yeah, I need you guys. Right, that's me getting that ego out of the way enough that I need you guys, man. I cannot do this by myself. I would chug morphine and Valium I'm in. Fuck yeah, I'm all in on that. That's me. The NA part is, man, you've really allowed me to show up and look at like, I need your help. And those steps are so vital in my life, man, that like, I didn't get high. I was able to like be there for my dad and put the Allman Brothers on and let him pass away peacefully, you know? So I look at these different relationships, how it's manifested in my life, and my mom is, I could sit up here and talk about my mom for the next 5 hours. She is not an easy customer to deal with. She's gone off the deep end. I'm not even gonna talk politics. She's gone a different way that I can't ever imagine her. My mom was at Woodstock, put it that way. She wouldn't go to Woodstock now. She's gone a different route with it. But I'm her only child, and there's nobody else, right? So when my mom needs me, man, I show up in spite of what I want to tell her, how I feel about her. We didn't have the best relationship, but, you know, NA allows me to show up for people, man, even when I don't want to. You know, it's not convenient for me. My life's a busy life, man. I got 3 kids, I got dogs, I got a wife, I got sponsees, I got, work, I got all this stuff going on over here. But then it's just like, sometimes I don't know how we do it all. But how I do it all is by you guys, man. Like, I've never not gone to NA. Right, I'm almost 16 years clean. I've known plenty of people like, hey man, I took a break for a couple of months. I took a break for a year. Nope. I've never not. I'll never, just for today, I don't take a break. I just keep going. I've never not had an H&I commitment. I can't imagine why I would, right? I can't imagine why I wouldn't answer the phone when a sponsee calls me. Because most of the time, I'll be straight up, I don't want to. I don't want to do shit. If I'm being honest, I don't want to do anything but sit on the couch with my dogs and watch TV. Right? That's what I want to do. But you guys have shown me how to like show up. Because I was thinking about that, and I got my buddy Debo's over there. We always joke like I'm a 0 when it comes to like manly shit, quote unquote. I remember one time I bought a chainsaw, and I was just out there chopping down everything because I felt like this is what a man's supposed to do chainsaw shit. Then I cut my boot in half. And I was like, all right, I'm done with the chainsaw, dude. So I'm the guy, man. If I gotta hang a picture on the wall, I'm like, I probably gotta call buddy. I got no quote unquote man skills at all, man. But here's the thing, everything that happens in my life, my deck I got a new deck, my fence, my car is all people in NA. The roof on my house, the solar panels that are installed, it's all people in Narcotics Anonymous have been part of. You guys are like this endless network of people. And so my authenticity comes from I'm able to ask for help, right? I'm able to say like, hey, I don't know how to change brakes on my car, but you do. I'm not looking for a deal either, man. I'm just looking to not rip me off. Because, I take my car to a car dealer, they could tell me anything, like your flux capacitor, glip-glop is ruined. I'll be like, yeah, dude, change that shit. I have no idea, man. Change it, sure, I'll pay for it. I'm like, so at least you guys will shoot me straight, right? And I was listening to this podcast the other day, and this lady was talking about how to become vulnerable. Because I think authenticity and vulnerability go hand in hand. You know what I mean? I think about the conversations we have in Narcotics Anonymous, man. There's not a whole lot of surface talk, right? There might be, the Steelers looked okay last week. That chick's got a nice ass. Penn State lost again. Sorry for all my Penn State fans. I'm an Ohio State guy. I apologize to all the Penn State fans out there. They lost again. That was from my buddy Debo. He's like shaking his head at me. But I think about, I lost my train of thought. See, talking shit, man. Lost my train of thought. But I'll say, but back to the relationships, that's what I'll just go with. So I think about how it shows up in my kid's life. So my daughter goes to Ohio State, right? She's a sophomore at Ohio State. There's never been a better time to be a bandwagon fan of a team than last year, and they win the national title. I'm all in on Ohio State now. I'm watching college football. I got a sticker on my truck. I'm all in, right? But she called me her freshman year and was like, it was about a month into college. She was having a tough time. She called me and said, hey, will you come visit me tomorrow? This is on a Saturday. I was like, yeah. I was like, let me see. She's like, no, I don't want anybody else to come. I just want you to come. I was like, dude, there's never been a better moment in my life. Like, she asked just for me to come there. And this is a kid that I used to take to Duquesne Heights Cop and Dope in the car seat to like where the dope man, the 14-year-old dope dude would be like, why are you bringing these babies here on a Friday night? Right? Like he'd be giving me life advice. She'd be crying in the car seat, and I'd hide the dope in her car seat and then drive somewhere. You know what I mean? She wants me to come visit her at Ohio State. I'm like, dude, it's the greatest thing ever. And then flash forward, like I've had a really good couple of weeks here in the fact that last weekend was dad-daughter weekend at Ohio State, right? What an honor. So I get to go out there, and she says to me, this is where that authenticity, like the real me, the true me starts to come out as a father. Because I don't know how to be a father without watching you guys and watching how you guys treat your kids, watching you guys share about the struggles of being a father. I drive out there, and she's in a sorority, and she's like, my sorority rented out a bar on Friday night. Are you going to be cool going to the sorority event? I'm like, I can handle a bar from 2 hours. I can do that, right? Here's the thing, man. I told my sponsor on the way out there, I told another buddy, like, I'm going to a bar on a college campus. Do I think I'm going to drink? Probably not, but I'm just letting people know where I'm going to be at on a Friday night. I'm hanging out in the set in Columbus with my daughter. She doesn't drink either, so we're just hanging out in this bar. The two most awkward people you ever seen at a bar. Just sitting there like, all right. This guy's across from me asking me, hey, man, you don't drink? Another dad. He's getting hammered. Fourth time, you don't drink? I'm like, no, dude, I don't drink. He's like, why not? I was like, see your wallet sitting there, dude? I've been clocking your wallet for the last 20 minutes. I would have stolen that. I would have taken pictures of your credit cards. I would have sent those off to my buddy. I would have taken your cash. I would have found out what hotel you're at. I probably would have ransacked your hotel room. I would have pissed on you. I would have gotten a street fight. That's why I don't drink. Do you need me to explain this any further, dude? I am not the person that ever went out and had a glass of wine, a beer, one of this. Never, ever in my life, not one time, did I ever do that. So that's why I don't drink. He's just like, oh. All right, dude. So it's like my daughter's like, at 9 o'clock, we can leave. At 9 o'clock on the dot, we're walking out that door. And we go and we get donuts from Buckeye Donuts, just like their famous place in town there where they make donuts 24 hours a day. We get donuts. We just go and sit in the cut on the campus on a bench in the dark. And we sat there for probably 2.5 hours just talking about life. And I'm like, listen, man, it gives me chills to think about how much gratitude I have for a moment like this. And I don't for 1 second ever forget how I got there. I don't think, I did this shit on my own. Give myself a pat on the back. It's all because of you guys. It's all because you guys told me the very simple things to do. Get myself out of the way a little bit and help somebody. I get to sit on a park bench for 2 hours talking to my daughter about life. If it gets any better than that, man, let me know what it is. Because for me, it doesn't get any better. That's top 5 moment of my life, and it's very simple. $5 worth of donuts and 2 hours of my daughter's time. we get to. And I had to go to a Taylor Swift movie. Didn't want to do that. God, I didn't want to do that. We went to the Ohio State game. You know what I mean? And then at the game, there's people throwing up. We're watching. She's just like looking at me like, yeah, I'm telling you, man. That would have been me. So these last couple of weeks have just been filled with like gratitude. And I'm like, the whole time in the back of my head is like, fucking Nick asked me to speak on authenticity. I don't know what. I'm like thinking there's all these moments where I show up, the real me is showing up. The real dad is showing up. My wife's been going through some really hard stuff at her job the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, some real hard stuff. And what I've learned to do, man, is just listen. She doesn't need me. My wife's got an MBA. My wife makes all the money. My wife's got more clean time than I do. My wife's got more service commitments than I do. Rich knows my wife very well. Probably you do. Phil knows her. My wife is like, I put my wife on a pedestal. Anybody in that name, I looked at my wife like, yeah, my wife's the shit. She figured everything she's got it going. She doesn't need me to help her figure out her fucking life, dude. She needs me to sit there and listen. But my part wants to like, I'm the funny guy, so I want to like make her laugh, make it like less painful. All she wants me to do is sit there and listen. And at the end of it is give her a hug. And then she's like, all right, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, see? All I had to do is sit here like this, Man, that sucks. Yeah, man, it's like terrible. All right, love you too. Yeah, all right, let's eat. I don't know. And I had a sponsor that told me how to do that. So like, my wife is going through this stuff. What should I do? I just listen, dude. Why are you trying to overcomplicate this? This isn't about you. It's about her. And that's where I feel like that authenticity piece comes in, man. I get to be like the real version of me. And I only get that, like I said, I keep saying it, by being here. The way I was going to come out here much earlier, man. My other daughter has her senior homecoming dance tonight. And I was like, I'm not missing pictures with her. I told Phil I was going to do the sponsorship behind the walls thing earlier. Jimmy filled in for me, I think. I was like, listen, dude, you guys are beat. I'm not missing my daughter's homecoming pictures. It was literally, I pulled up to her house, my ex-wife's house, took a picture, did the smile. She looks beautiful. A couple more pictures, like, all right, love you, have fun. I headed out here. Like, I'm not missing any of that priceless stuff with my kids, man, because I put in the work, and I continue to put in the work to be here, to be a part of that. And, I got a sponsee now that, I don't know, man. I don't know how else to say that. He decided like NA's not for him anymore. And I'm to the point of my recovery at this point. I'm not here to talk you into it anymore, man. I'm not a cheerleader. It's just, you know where to find me. I was always taught, my very first sponsor would be like, try to keep the same phone number. That way, whenever someone goes out, man, you'll still have the same phone number. They can find you. Seems like pretty good advice, So he called me, and he's like, hey, man, can we meet? I want to talk. So yeah, dude, let's talk. I thought for sure he was going to tell me he used. I'm like, so we're talking, we're having a good time, whatever. I love this dude. I worked steps with this man. I officiated this dude's wedding. I love this guy, right? It's like some sponsees just hit your heart a little different than others. I don't know if that makes any sense, but some just do, man. I've seen this guy grow, and some stuff's going on in his personal life. He decided NA's not for him. No one in NA's got his back. It's all this bullshit he's saying. I'm just listening like, at the end of it all, man, I kind of subscribe to the motto of like, don't be an asshole and help somebody. I find that the easiest for me to do through Narcotics Anonymous and give back was so freely given to me. Like, that's my thing. I'm not here to sell you on NA, man. You know where to find me. But just don't be an asshole. Don't use. And he just immediately is like, I'm not going to get high. Like, dude, you know how everybody that says they're not going to get high, guess what they do? They get high. Every single one of them, dude. I'm never going to get high again. Yeah, all right, dude. Sure. And I'm just watching this dude, and it breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart to like watch, like he's just slowly pulling away from this program. And then you start to hear that, like those people, you guys, that other lingo that's not like us or we or God. It's like you're separating yourself a little bit. I don't know if it makes me what that makes you. I can't fight for you anymore. I can't want this more than you do, dude. And so I don't know why I'm bringing that up. It's just on my heart, man, because I keep thinking about him and thinking, like, what are the odds you're just going to stay clean? If you're an addict like me, man, I don't know how long it takes me not doing this thing to get high. I don't think very long. I think given my own devices, man, I'm probably high within a few days. I'm not coming here anymore. And here's the other thing. I'm not really willing to risk that. I'm not really willing to risk what that looks like, what the time frame might be. I'm not willing to piss around with that, man. And my life is on the line for this thing. And I have an 11-year-old son, and he's never seen me get high. And I have this relationship with him that is like, it's just amazing. It's just special. And he looks up to me and he thinks like, he'll say stuff to me like, Dad, you just know how to do everything. I'm like, no, dude. if you only knew, buddy, I'm faking it till I make it here, bud. I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. But it's just a beautiful thing, man. And we get to be a part of this interconnected thing here. Like, I don't know most of you guys, but I know damn sure, man, I could go up to my man and he'd be like, hey, man, I'm struggling. You got a second? He'd be like, yeah, dude, whatever, let's talk. I don't know where else you get that at. I don't know how else you find that out in the world. I mean, I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but this is my place for it, man. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, and I was going to make notes on my phone and have all this like in-depth shit to talk about and like just wow you guys to death. And I know enough of you to be like, yeah, Garrett's full of shit if he's doing that, man. I just come up here and wing it. I have no understanding what I'm going to say when I come up to the podium. I just let it fly. I will say this, man. The longer I'm here, the more I just realize I don't really know a whole lot about life. I really do. I look back on like how I've gotten to this point in my life it's a miracle. Like anybody in this room, man, I should be dead by now. I shouldn't be here. When I go into the prison, I look at some of those guys, and not every guy in that prison is some like thugged out lifelong criminal, man. And they're just one of us that made a wrong decision. You know how many times I sat outside a fucking pharmacy and thought about how I could rob that place? Some of these guys just went ahead and did it and got caught. Or how many times I thought I could do this robbery and get away with it to get the next one. And like, I just know, man, I need to be here. And when this sponsor made all this decision, he's not going to come to NA anymore, I called my sponsor. And he said one very simple thing to me. He's like, listen, man, I'm always going to tell everybody this. Like, NA doesn't need me. I need NA. He's like, if you can just keep that in your head, NA's going to be fine with or without me, man. You guys are going to, if I poof disappeared tomorrow, you guys would be just fine. You'd keep on going. I wouldn't be, right? And the only way to get the true nature of myself, man, is to continue to work steps, continue to be a sponsor, continue to show up, have an H&I commitment, have some type of service commitment, be a part of this thing, keep going to meetings, answer the phone. And like that line in our basic text, sometimes it's just staying on the phone that one extra minute. Sometimes that's all I got to do, man. I don't know if I touched on anything regarding authenticity at all, but I want to say, man, I love Narcotics Anonymous with all my heart, and I love you guys. Thank you.